What made my sister apologize to every man she ever scammed? My sister Natalie turned into a sociopath when she found out she could scam lonely guys on dating apps for money. She used photos from some random Instagram model and created this whole fake life where she was a veterinarian whose entire animal rescue had burned down with 12 dogs inside. She would tell them she was trying to rebuild it while dealing with PTSD and medical bills from trying to save the animals, which made every lonely guy with a hero complex immediately want to rescue her. I walked into her apartment last month and saw her juggling 3 different text conversations while she was on a video call with some guy using filters that made her look exactly like the photos she'd stolen. She had this spreadsheet tracking everything with columns for sucker name and weakness, and notes like dead mom story already used, or cancer scare next week, like these people were just ATM machines for her to drain. There was a folder on her desktop labeled Hall of Shame that had screenshots of men literally begging her to just meet them once in person, and one guy had written her this 10-page letter about how meeting her online had saved him from ending everything after his wife died. Natalie had highlighted the parts where he mentioned his life insurance payout with little dollar sign emojis. I knew she needed to learn her lesson when she bragged about convincing some retired firefighter with lung disease to sell his dead wife's wedding ring to pay for her fake nephew's brain surgery after a fake car accident that she'd staged with fake hospital photos. She laughed and said, "These disgusting old creeps would pay for feet pictures from a corpse if it had a female name, so why shouldn't I drain every penny from their pathetic bank accounts before they die alone in their filthy apartments?" I spent 2 weeks building the perfect fake dating profile using everything I knew about Natalie's actual dating preferences and fantasies. Damien was basically every romance novel character she'd ever obsessed over, combined into one mysterious businessman who traveled the world closing deals and didn't have time for relationships until he met someone special. I studied her own playbook of love bombing and emotional manipulation and practiced exactly how to make someone feel like they'd found their soulmate through carefully crafted messages. Natalie fell for every single trick she'd used on hundreds of guys. Within 3 days, she was telling me she'd met her soulmate online, and within 2 weeks, she'd deleted all her fake profiles to focus on Damien exclusively. She started spending the money she'd scammed on expensive clothes for their first meeting at this casino in Atlantic City, where he was supposed to be finalizing some major business deal. She spent another $20,000 from her scam earnings to book a penthouse suite for a week because Damien said he wanted to spend time getting to know her in person. She was so deep in the fantasy that she was already planning their wedding and looking at engagement rings online. Natalie waited in the casino for 9 hours, texting increasingly desperate messages to Damien, who kept saying traffic was bad. Then his meeting ran long, then his phone was dying, but he'd definitely be there soon. She video called me sobbing at 2 in the morning from the empty penthouse. I asked her what was wrong and she screamed, "I'm not like those worthless incels I scam. I actually deserve love, this isn't fair," while throwing champagne bottles at the wall. I pretended to feel bad for her and asked her to explain what happened. She told me about all the money she'd spent, how real it felt when they talked, and how she'd never felt this way about anyone before. "But how did you know he was real if you never met him?" I asked innocently, and watched her face change as she realized what she was saying. "That's what they all asked me," she whispered, and then started listing all the excuses Damien had given her for not video chatting, which were the exact same excuses she'd given her victims. She asked me if I thought Damien might still be real, and maybe something had happened to him, and I just stayed quiet while she sat in that expensive hotel room, realizing she'd been played by her own game. After Natalie came home from Atlantic City, she spent weeks sending apologies to the men she had scammed, but most of them just told her to go to hell.